Greetings, fellow martial arts enthusiasts, welcome back to my channel. Today, we will continue our adventure into the mystical world of martial arts manhwa, full of mystery and action. Join me as we explore this comic world together. Despite being pregnant for 7 years, the baby has yet to be born. It's not because the mother doesn't want to give birth, but because her husband forbids it. Every day, her husband makes her drink a bowl of holy water just to ensure that their son can emerge victorious from the start. Little do they know, there are twins in the mother's womb. The eldest son is a being from the outside world, and his greatest pleasure is to fight his younger brother. Because the system determines that the younger brother is the chosen one, every time he fights, he receives rewards from the system. The more intense the fight, the better the rewards. This has left everyone outside amazed. The baby, even in the mother's womb, is already training. This baby, when born, appears regal like an emperor. The elder one is disturbed by the noise outside but has to endure it. One must first finish the fight. The younger brother, the chosen one, is the one to be favored. The elder one decides to accept this villain role. Now, after 3 years, the mother has been pregnant for a total of 10 years. Today, finally, the day for the baby to be born has arrived. With the sound of crying, the elder one is the first to be born. The maid holds the elder one with a happy face. The grandfather, a nobleman, decides to name his son Tan Fong. Seeing his son, the grandfather narrows his eyes, afraid that he might resemble him later. They say that looking at many beautiful girls can make one handsome. Thinking about this, the elder one starts kicking around, wanting to be held by the eldest sister. But, out of filial piety, he gets 2 villain points. The elder one no longer lightly starts to work diligently. Indeed, he appears like a grand figure. Suddenly, the midwife discovers there is another girl in the womb. These are twins. After a busy time, the midwife informs that the boy doesn't want to come out yet. Seeing this, the elder one angrily asks why he's only half out. What kind of weird thing is this? And if the dog doesn't bark, he won't create an atmosphere. After some filial acts, the maid takes the elder one. Eldest sister, can he have some water to drink? The elder one is not in the mood to drink, he just wants the dog to come out quickly. Suddenly, the elder one stares intently at the eldest sister. Love can also earn villain points. At this moment, the elder one experiences the joy of being a villain. 3 years later, Tan Fong has learned to talk and walk. Almost every day, he plays with the eldest sisters. His favorite game is catching the eldest sister. And his skills are very cunning. Chasing after the older sister, you lose. After completing the mission, Tan Fong receives 200 villain points. When reaching a certain number, Tan Fong can use villain points to upgrade his status. Currently, he has surpassed the Tien Win level. But the 3 older sisters look at him with skeptical eyes. They don't understand these things and want to hug him. Suddenly, Tan Fong attacks. For a gentle love, he receives 50 villain points, but the 3 older sisters don't pay attention. In the end, the elder one is just a 3-year-old baby. He can't understand these things. Right, a 3-year-old baby doesn't know anything. Because he doesn't know, he can do anything. Meanwhile, in the Grand Palace, the Emperor senses Tan Fong's progress. At 3 years old, he has passed the Kai Thien level. It seems this child can't be kept anymore. That night, in the Tan family's female bathhouse, Tan Fong initially wanted to be serious, but the system gave too many villain points. He decides to bring a little worm into the bathhouse. Seeing the prince wanting to bathe with the older sister, there is some awkwardness, but the elder sister doesn't mind. After all, the prince is just a 3-year-old baby who knows nothing. Tan Fong reveals a mischievous smile, he actually knows everything. Timing the birth of the dog, Tan Fong uses villain points to enhance his speed attribute. He wants to become the fastest in the Great Wilderness Kingdom. If he can't win, then he can run. Please comment to activate the animal effect. To protect animals, you can activate an animal effect. Come and try, see what effect you will have. In 3 days, the dog will be born. Suddenly, Tan Fong feels danger. Away down. The Great Ha Emperor has appeared. Everyone in the Tan family has already advanced to Tan Fong because the other party knows for sure that this is the eldest son of the Tan family. Not waiting for the Emperor to touch Tan Fong, he quickly hid behind his grandfather. The Emperor was amazed by this child, who not only broke the record of starting school at the age of 3 in Qin Win, but also did it so quickly. Gently, the grandfather said, "Children are often shy. Are you the Emperor?" As soon as Tan Fong finished speaking, his grandfather praised him and began to talk at length. The emperor felt like he was trapped in something he couldn't escape from. The emperor of the parrot visiting someone's house certainly wouldn't come empty-handed. It can't be, it can't be. The emperor grew up like that, and he really came to visit someone's house empty-handed. Seeing adults all smiling at him, the emperor couldn't keep his face. He pulled out a wooden box. Inside were 9 divine swords, each of which was unparalleled. The 9 swords combined could even be ranked in the top 10 ancient divine swords. Tan Feng knew for sure that this was a good item. The emperor was a bit confused about which sword to give, as he himself had not had a chance to carefully admire them. Unexpectedly, the wooden box was quickly taken away. Thank you, Duke, for bestowing 9 divine swords. Tan Feng expressed his gratitude for the wisdom. Fighting with Yang, even if you don't die, you have to peel off your skin. His grandfather and father praised the two of them, making Tan Feng embarrassed. At the same time, he did not back down from the weapon competition of the predecessor. He obtained 1,000 points of value for the negative side. The emperor felt heartbroken. He regretted coming. Have you heard of any rules of the martial world? The first time you meet a little boy, adults usually give a gift. It seems there is such a rule. The emperor couldn't lose face. He took out a ball again. This item can accelerate cultivation. Seeing Tan Feng thinking maliciously, he didn't wait for him to speak and ran away directly. If not, the family's wealth will be completely wiped out. The emperor went out. The father and son were still young. The reason was to help him store the wooden box. That is my treasure. Give it back to me. The grandfather directly threw at his son because he felt sorry for his grandson. Don't cry, I will bring it back for you. But whether he cries or not, it's all just pretend. At that moment, unexpectedly, the old man remembered that his wife was still pregnant. That is my treasure. Give it back to me immediately. My grandfather has always been kind to me. Don't cry. I have taken it back for you. But whether you cry or not, it's all just pretend. At that moment, unexpectedly, the old man remembered that his wife was still pregnant. By chance, Quan Fong waited for this day. The first dog was born on his lucky day. Just a few minutes after the younger brother was born, he looked terrified, especially when he saw his older brother approaching. He became more afraid, hoping to be hugged and kissed. Dad named his second baby Tan Hao. Dad asked, "Why aren't you crying?" "There's no problem," he replied and was slapped hard. Tan Hao was in pain and cried loudly, leading to the chosen child breaking the first sword seed. Tan Feng received 30,000 points of negative value along with a chance to draw lots. Returning to his room, Tan Feng immediately drew lots and received the skills of sky cutting and sword pulling. Tan Feng froze to ponder each sword technique that appeared in his mind. Now that he has sword techniques, he feels confident. A press, a break. It has been 5 years. Tan Feng is now 8 years old. Today is the time for him to break the superhuman. Each time he breaks, he will destroy a house. Tan Feng, 8 years old, into the superhuman. Tan Hao, 5 years old, in Qin Wen. Both brothers broke the ancient record. These two children destroyed whichever house was destroyed, repaired whichever house needed repair, whichever child was broken, by whichever year. Suddenly, the system issued a divine task: dig out an extremely martial younger brother. Reward is the undefeated genius. Are you okay? This is the first time Tan Feng has doubted the system. Tan Feng felt this was not right and needed to be calm before speaking. The young man hiding in the tree to sleep is none other than his younger brother, Tan Hao. Shortly after, Tan Feng found his younger brother, Tan Hao, suggesting that the two sneak out to play. Then they went to the city to beg. One cried loudly, one held a torn bowl to beg. In just half an hour, they earned a considerable amount of money. Tan Feng said he would go back to invite his brother to eat stir-fried bamboo shoots with meat. Zuxi and other postpartum meat, Dingzuzun stir-fried meat, Dingzuzun stir-fried meat, and other dog brothers who love to play short books are different. This old man is just a beggar on the ground, and when Qin Feng returns home, he actually eats Susan stir-fried meat. When Qin Feng asks his father to smile, "Please forgive me. The more I beg for mercy, the harsher my father is." In Tan Feng's eyes, a childhood without being humiliated by bamboo sticks is not complete. Returning home, Tan Feng starts giving medicine to his younger brother, showing himself as a kind elder brother. Then he comes up with an idea to help his brother seek revenge. But in the end, he was still our father. Qin Hao patted your chest. "Don't worry, I won't betray you." This is a plan made by Qin Feng. The plan is to let Qin Hao reveal his father's small treasury. Then when his mother finds out about this, he will definitely be punished. The perpetrator seems to have the upper hand. The poor younger brother is once again captured by father. Each time the younger brother is beaten, Tan Fong will have more tricks up his sleeve. As night falls, Tan Hao asks what his parents are doing. Tan Fong, serious, says they are practicing martial arts. If I interrupt their practice, will he have the strength to fight me? Although the tricks are tempting, it cannot happen. If the younger brother remains silent, it means he agrees. Before Tan Fong intervenes, Tan Hao enters the house and calls for father. The old man is startled to see someone coming and is surprised that a big problem has occurred. Tan Fong, sweating, slightly embarrassed, lets out a desperate cry from inside the house. Tan Fong, somewhat embarrassed, receives a large amount of tricks. A month later, at the Tan house, in the sky, a ferocious beast appears pulling a war chariot with a man and a girl on it. Tan Fong is delighted as the system has also discovered that this person is one of the chosen ones. A month ago in the Great Sha state, she was the little princess of the Lam Lam Tam clan. Every day, she would train under the supervision of a servant. That day, Lam Fu spoke of a talented young man. Tan Fong asked his daughter if she wanted to marry him. This young man is her husband. Upon hearing this, Lam Tam immediately said, "Father, we are still just children, there's no need for that." Lam Tam now had a distracted mind and would not marry the eldest son of the Tan family. And a month later, that person was Tan Fong. So handsome, I just want to say that no one can escape the law of truth. Tan Fong looks at the girl in front of him. But the neighboring Princess Lam Tan is a proud girl. Don't think being handsome is all that matters. Strength is what's important. You're just a servant. Tong Tam asks Tan Fong if he dares to test his skills. The Holy Virgin, please don't be disrespectful. Your words are disrespectful, but your body doesn't stop at all. Looking at the chosen one who has just appeared, Tan Fong falls into contemplation because Tan Hao is his biological brother. So he doesn't dare to strike hard. This leads to only being able to use 25,000 anti-techniques in 5 years, but now someone has brought it to him. He must seize the opportunity. Father does not object. Just playing around. Tong Tam steps forward to bow and ask to learn. At first, Tan Fong quickly rushed towards his opponent. Tong Tam put up a defense and then attacked. Tan Fong quickly withdrew into the air. Well done. Punish this boy for her. The opponent finally turns out to be a main-level character. Tan Fong summons out 9 celestial swords truly worthy of the Thuong Kong that Kiem, believing that the emperor was deceived by the Tan family, for this sword is unexpected. Tan Fong points to the sky, congratulating the 9 swords uniting in the blink of an eye. The 9 swords transform into a strange sword. This sword can be ranked in the top 10 weapons of the ancient gods. Tong Tam is not afraid. He also has his own secret Thuong Kong Kiem Tuyat. Tong Tam, a sword flashes bright. Both recognize Thuong Kong Kiem Tuyat. Both the 9 swords and Thuong Kong Kiem Tuyat are works of the god Thuong Kong Kiem. Furthermore, Tan Fong is only 8 years old. Afraid his son will be injured, his old father wants to help. But Tan Fong accidentally refuses to take a step back. Don't worry. After the play ends, Tan Fong uses the Tram Thien Dat sword technique. The 2 sword energies collide in the sky. Everything twists. Lam Fa is once again terrified. This scene of the sword is no less than the Trong Kong Kiem Tuyat. Thuong Tam also has a bit of disbelief looking at the sword in front of him. The trap has been broken. This battle has made the chosen child unbeatable. Start to show a new crack. Tan Fong receives 10,000 negative points just by creating a new crack. Just a new sword from him is a few billion will disappear immediately. Love stabs into the new crack. This battle has determined the winner. The next step is to increase the negative value. Each action is gentle as it approaches the negative value increase. His grandfather stopped his son. Then the 2 patriarchs discussed the main issue. They plan to marry early, then befriend Tan Fong. You are really powerful. Lam Han comes over. But Tan Fong's gaze is always on Thuong Tam can make him often come to play. I want you to be my husband, but you just want to play with my house servants. Lam Tam, angrily unable to bear the bad news, she turns and leaves the living room of the Tan house. Lam Tam receives the bad news. Her father intended to marry her to the second son of the Tan family. Tan Hao is not. Say you don't want to marry the eldest son of the Tan family. Why is Lam Tam a little late? Seems to have something like that, but unexpectedly Tan Fong is so handsome. Lam Tam does not accept not to marry Tan Hao anymore. Tan Hao is younger than her by 2 years. Thank you. Do you like Tan Fong? Lam Tam continues arrogantly. I don't like that arrogant guy. Then marry Tan Hao. This matter has been decided. Grandpa hates her completely, does not love Lam Tam. A fierce battle like a tiger's roar. Debate on marriage, but not even 5 is acceptable. This bitter love is short, but a success. We have him is enough. Thuong Tam hits the fierce. He feels the air a bit weird. His father for the first time let the 7-year-old girl see. The girl does not agree to anything, but after meeting the truth has revealed the handsome face of Tan Fong has deeply attracted her, but Lam Tam is an extremely proud girl. Finally her parents have decided she will marry the younger brother of Tan Fong, Tan Hao. When meeting Tan Fong wanting to go out with Duong Tam, he also wants to go with Lam Tam stands very proudly. Duong Tam, where do you want to go? Why not call this sister and brother duo? Both grandfathers see the situation like this have reached an agreement. This is an opportunity. So Duong Tam, you take Tin Nhi and the second son of the Tan family out. Don't forget to ensure their safety. Tan Fong calls out, great, it's not the ceremony I want, but it's okay. However, the other side is offering too much. A moment later the ancient scene has passed. Tan Fong knows that the chosen child often chooses valuable things, so Duong Tam buys everything. This is Tan Fong. He has also accumulated a large amount of negative value. Seeing that Duong Tam is not satisfied, Tan Fong realizes the seed is not bad and Duong Tam just wants to stay away from Tan Fong even more. He feels like this guy has a big problem. Surprisingly, Lam Tam comes closer. Can Tan Fong walk with me for a walk? Tan Fong doesn't think twice. Pushing her away from him, she blocked my way. Lam Tam's blood pressure rose immediately to 300. This guy dared to ignore me, but the more he had to, the more she liked. Perhaps this is the reason why people like things they can't have. At that moment, Tan Hao and Duong Tam both looked intently at a bronze medal that was immediately noticed by Tan Fong. Both claimed they saw it first and began to argue right there. However, no matter how much they argued, Tan Fong directly asked the price. The shop owner said the original price was 1,000 dong, but the eldest prince wants to buy it for 888 dong, although very expensive. Both can be careful. Thien Zan H's children paid attention. Tan Fong knows that it is not a building. Duong Tam is a bit surprised at such a precious thing. Tan Fong can't help but take it home because he destroyed the chance of the two celestial children. He received a lucky draw. Tan Fong finally made sure it was a great treasure, but he kept looking but couldn't understand. Tan Hao came up. He gave it to your sister. Is that okay? Tan Fong is a villain. He thinks he can activate through the two celestial children. This small cap he bought for 888 dong is a gift. As an older brother he will shut up 2 digits 8 and you only need to shut the last 8. He will lend you a few days, no problem. Tan Hao didn't think much and agreed immediately, even felt he had the upper hand. And then Tan Fong started searching his brother's money bag. The money bag was torn apart immediately because he took 800 dong away. Perhaps since childhood being beaten by his older brother, Tan Hao's mind was no longer clear. Discovering that Tan Fong deceived the two naive celestial children, he earned 500 negative points. What a fool! The shopkeeper, how much money? Tan Fong quickly paid attention to Duong Tam. He quickly arrived and said he would buy everything. Duong Tam finally realized what was not right. Tan Fong seemed to always have strange thoughts about himself. Lucky did not get stolen. Tan Fong breathed a sigh of relief. Duong Tam dared to be angry but didn't dare to speak. He once again focused on a bell, but before he could ask the price, Tan Fong bought it again. Then he looked at Duong Tam. Why didn't you buy it? Although very dissatisfied, he is ultimately a frightened person. Duong Tam used the excuse to leave. Why is he running away? He intends to run. For what reason? You don't know. After Duong Tam left, everyone returned to the palace. Finally, they are all children who need protection. Lam Tam feels she has a chance. She suggests she can play with Tan Fong. At this point in the darkness there is a deep proposal still waiting for what just went. Duong Tam although rejected. Lam Tam even likes it. Not close to women, not afraid of authority. Tan Fong is indeed a dream god of Lam Tam. While Duong Tam hides in the dark shivering, Tan Fong's words make him shudder all over his body. His ultimate goal is to become an excellent servant. Instead of enjoying excellence, don't think recklessly outside. Choose a day for marriage between the Tan family and the Lam family that was announced to the world. The engagement between Tan Hao and Lam Tam also means an alliance between the two families. After negotiation, Lam Fu also took his daughter to prepare to leave. At this point Tan Fong feels a bit melancholy. So the duo must find a treasure and there is only one box. These two boxes only mention the two celestial children. Before leaving, Duong Tam mistakenly looks at Tan Fong then quickly turns away. Why is your face so red like hot tea? Lam Tin looks at Duong Tam, then looks at Tan Fong. He is sure Tan Fong is looking at him with concern. There is a certain point both are not normal. Even after parting, Tan Fong returns to his room. He even wants to go with Duong Tam. After a few days he earned 15,000 negative points and a lucky draw. The lucky draw always makes people look forward. Tan Fong immediately decides to draw. This time he won a 3rd level divine technique, Dai Vin Thien Long Fap. This technique not only enhances defense but also has the ability to recognize who is human and who is a demon. Finally, in just a few days he has accumulated 15,000 negative points and has a lucky draw. This always makes people look forward. Quan Fong decides to participate in the lucky draw. This time he won a 3rd level divine artifact, Long Ha Vin Fap. This artifact not only enhances defense but also has the ability to distinguish who is human and who is a demon. causing more damage to the demon 10 times. It can be said to be the enemy of the demon. When realizing a golden dragon image appears, the golden dragon rushes straight to Tan Fong, who is concentrating in a blink of an eye. This divine technique has overflowed into Tan Fong's body. He feels his whole body full of power. At this point, Quan Fong realizes that his body is changing. Just a thought, he can use the Ha Vin Dao artifact. Because it was the first time he used it, he didn't control the roof well. It was shattered. Feeling the powerful power, Quan Fong also plans to take advantage of the opportunity to break through. Not long after, a strong divine light swept through Quan Fong. Grandfather noticed the abnormality and hurried over. They couldn't help but be surprised by their grandson's talent. Too terrifying. Even though some houses were destroyed, Quan Fong broke through to the 3rd level of the Celestial Creation Dao. It cost 10,000 negative points and broke through to the super level. Spending an additional 3,000 negative points, Quan Fong feels heartbroken. It seems that in the future he will have to fight Cho Demore to earn negative value. Quan Hao expressed dissatisfaction. Why is it always me who gets hurt? The alliance between the two families has made the world surprised. When the Great Hoang dynasty heard this news, feeling dangerous, someone proposes to immediately kill the two big families, but there are also those who say no. In recent years, the changes in the heavens and earth have predicted that the great opportunity has come. Can't commit suicide in the family. The biggest enemy of the Great Hoang Empire today is the Hoang dynasty. Music in the future needs help from the big noble families. But this will create conditions for the two talents of the Tan family to develop. The Great Hoang Emperor is confused. When the Tan family knew about this, they didn't expect Mr. Tan didn't understand why the Great Hoang Empire did that. It seems they are not wise, mainly because the reputation of the Tan family is too great. Once developed, they can replace the Great Hoang Empire, so they want to act before the two brothers develop to avoid difficult future repercussions. Seeing the current tension, Quan Fong thought about fleeing, but this intention was immediately eliminated. Although he is a traveler, he should not invest too much emotion, but for 8 years the family has taken care of him very carefully. Now when the Tan family is in trouble, he can't be indifferent, can't interfere. Suddenly Quan Fong came up with a method. My father and grandfather thought of a method. Father hurriedly reprimanded to let him out, but the grandfather was very concerned and wanted to listen. This problem stems from our appearance and the disruption of balance. Just find a way to hide us from conflict. There will be no reason to continue. But even if hidden, the Great Hoang Empire will not give up as long as the two brothers are not dead or disabled. That's right, disabled. Stripping the sacred stone of Quan Hao. Grandfather believes this method is feasible, but the father strongly opposes. Grandfather begs him not to want that. He thought the common interest was most important. This is the best method at the moment. Quan Fong lifted his father up and vowed that in the future he would definitely return safely, and then he stepped out of the big room and the undefined sacred stone. Later, when they are discovered, Quan Fong will use the ancient sacred stone to take advantage. After being discovered, they will escape from the Tan family. Then the grandfather will be angry and expel the rebels. The captain orders the extermination of the entire Wild Valley. That is Quan Hao's method. The elders were amazed that if Quan Hao was driven out of that valley, it would be physical pain, while Quan Fong would have to endure both physical and mental pain. Father disagrees, giving orders to carry out an assassination operation in the deserted valley. That is Tan Hao's method. The old men were shocked. If Tan Hao's exile from the valley was merely physical pain, then Tan Fong's endurance would not only be physical pain but also mental pain. Father disagrees. That's okay, I will stand with the Great Ha dynasty. As a father, he will try to protect his son comprehensively. Becoming a hero cursed through the centuries for my family, I am willing. The grandfather was very pleased, but once a step is taken, there will be no chance for regret. Quan Fong was very serious when he said he would not regret it. In fact, it's all just pretending. He wants to take advantage of the opportunity to exploit the ancient sacred stone, complete the mission, and then find a small wife. The grandfather readily agrees. Father begs the grandfather not to do so. The grandfather believes that the common interest is most important. This is the best method at present. Quan Fong lifts his father up and vows that he will definitely return safely in the future. And then he steps out of the grand room and the indefinite sacred stone. Deep within the heart of his mother, his younger brother carried the supreme stone since before birth. Meanwhile, his older brother, the villain favored by destiny, fought against his younger brother. However, later, the two brothers, Tian Qiu, were monitored by the court. In the end, the Tan family had to make a decision to protect the entire clan. One late night, a figure appeared at Tan Hoa's house. Tan Hua was awakened by the appearance of none other than his beloved older brother, Tan Fong. Tan Fong's face was cold, but Tan Hua did not recognize him. He reached out his arms for an embrace, but this time it was different from before. His older brother stabbed him in the body when Tan Hua was only 5 years old and very innocent. He did not understand why. He only saw a white bone pulled out of his body, the rare supreme bone of 1,000 years, but Tan Fong cut it into pieces because he took away the chosen son's supreme bone. Tan Fong received 800,000 in value, a large villain, and a chance to draw. The most important thing was the pair of unbeatable spheres. After a glance spread worldwide, Tan Fong finally achieved his wish. When Tanhua fell, a small lid fell off. After seeing the small lid, Tan Fong could see a tiny creature trembling inside. He reached out to take it, but then hesitated and withdrew his hand. Seeing his younger brother's situation, Tan Fong silently blamed himself for leaving this pot to him. "I am too foolish." Everything was witnessed by this small pot. He felt regret that Tung Tung was eternal emptiness and did not need to borrow others' bones. Then the small pot turned into light and entered Tan Hua's body. Tan Fong then went to his mother's door, holding the strong supreme bone, and bowed heavily. His mother shed tears in the house. She wanted to go out but was stopped by her husband. Only when their son left did she run outside. Fong, her pitiful son. She bowed her head in the direction Tan Fong left, but her cries were drowned out by the heavy rain. Overwhelmed with grief, she fainted on the ground. This was the last words that Quan Fong left for his parents. After speaking, he disappeared in the stormy night. Only when her son had gone far did she run out. "My beloved son." She knelt in the direction Quan Fong left, but her cries were muffled by the storm. Overwhelmed with sadness, she fainted to the ground. Finally, after seeing Quan Fong about to leave, his grandfather asked where he would go. The Imperial Music Court. When Quan Fong mentioned it, his grandfather said that of the 4 beauties from ancient times, 3 were there, making it the strongest place. Furthermore, when he arrived there, he could also spy to gather information. It could be said that it was the best destination for Quan Fong. On a sunny day, the sunlight shone on the entire wilderness. As usual, the sister-in-law came to serve the second younger brother, then I dropped the water bowl in my hand. A horrified scream echoed throughout the Tan house. "Quick, everyone come here!" After a brief prediction, the room was full of people. Tanhua was wrapped in bandages, unconscious and not waking up. They heard it was an act of the great young master Tan Fong, but his sister did not believe it. But when she saw the lover of the great young master screaming loudly, it was him, the troublemaker. Immediately afterwards, she started coughing, and a violent cough erupted. All of this was necessary to make this drama truly come alive. The master of the Tan family was one of the strongest in the wilderness. He was struck to the ground. Everyone was sure this was caused by Tan Fong. And the ancestor also stood up and confirmed that indeed, Tan Fong had done it. On behalf of the Tan family's ancestor, I declare the expulsion of Tan Fong from the Tan family without forgiveness. The young master was cancelled. After losing the image of the great emperor Tan Fong, the Tan family no longer had the power to compete in the great forces. But the ancestor decided that no one could object anymore. This event shook the entire Tan family, with one brother being cancelled, and the other leaving. Thankfully, the heavens helped us. The mysterious face of the king twisted with joy. Joyously, he immediately selected 10 concubines to assist in carrying out the sentence. All the court officials bowed down. Long live the 100-year-old king, the eternal king. Then, half a day later, Tan Fong arrived at a forest. Finally, he had enough points to exchange for 1 million in value. Tan Fong decided to click to exchange. He has exchanged with the perfect transformation card 100. With this card he has successfully trained level 33 of the KY Hop FAP. Shortly Tan Fong will meet an acquaintance here. The next day Tan Fong was expelled from the Tan family, then went to the court of the music. He is trying to practice on the way. Suddenly a voice is heard from the side. "Little girl, don't be afraid, just let us have a little fun, we will let you go." After hearing this, Tan Fong leaves. The little girl jumps up the tree to observe the situation below. Only seeing 3 strong men surrounding a girl, the men continuously laugh evilly. Looking closely, the girl has a beautiful face like the female lead in the novel. Tan Fong is immediately attracted. After reincarnation he has never met any girl. Suddenly the golden palace cannot hold her hand. The girl is startled to tears. The hero is coming. When I appear, Tan Fong is waiting for this moment. He stands up and shouts, "Let go of that girl." Suddenly a sharp golden light flashed. A man came faster than Tan Fong to save beauty, and that person is Duong Tam, who Tan Fong has not seen in a few days. Duong Tam, a strong kick, the golden palace fell. The door fell 3 pieces in the daylight sky. So he was bullying a little girl. Tang Tam madness pushed the girl behind. It can only be said he pretended. In Quan Fong's heart there was a little dissatisfaction. People suddenly remembered something and then took out a painting. Comparing it closely, it was the image of General Tan Fong, the eldest son of the Tan family, wanted. Tam and Duong both were stunned. They remembered something, then pulled out a picture. Compare carefully, that is the image of General Tan Fong, son of the Tan family. Wanted. Both are sure he is a powerful man. He smirked then. Tam and Duong are shocked. They remembered something, then pulled out a painting. Compare carefully, that is the image of General Tan Fong, son of the Tan family. Wanted. Both. I'll swallow a pill. Duong Tam recognizes it as the Berserker pill, which can double strength. But if they just want to have fun, why take the Berserker pill? Seems like they enjoy it. It's all Duong Tam's illusion. Because this causes confusion in the mind. Duong Tam feels cold. The more he thinks, the more afraid he becomes. He must eliminate them all before the Berserker pill takes effect. That's Duong Tam's thought. Suddenly, a sharp light like a knife blade flashes as if a knife dances in the air. In just a second, the curtain closes. The attack. He has just broken through with more powerful strength, and not a single strong man is lucky. Tan Fong also gained 300 enemy points from that. Duong Tam was astonished. In just a few days, Tan Fong became stronger. Duong Tam greeted Tan Fong after dealing with the powerful men. As for the rescued girl, tears of gratitude fell, showing her gratitude to Duong Tam. My name is Tu Vien. Tu Vien doesn't need formalities. Seeing injustice as our innate duty as cultivators. Tan Fong, with a serious face, felt that was too discriminatory and handled it differently. As for the powerful man, with a breath left, he drew a signal and then. Tan Fong showed interest. This is the symbol of the mysterious Tiger Gang. Our gang leader is a 5th grade 3 RD grade person. Behave well and accept our teachings. Tu Vien seemed a bit worried after hearing that, but Duong Tam saw nothing to worry about. Tu Vien, rest assured. We will protect you, said Duong Tam. You seem very beautiful when you say that. Keep it up. Surprisingly, Tan Fong grabbed Tu Vien's token. His intention was, the good people have entrusted you and want to pull me into their equipment. But I won't give you the chance. Tan Lao Luke was able to take items from a distance, but he took away the most precious item of the girl in an instant. Tan Fong and Lam Tam had saved Tu Viet, but before that, the bandits had sent a signal. The members of the Tiger Gang were initially searching for the secret treasure, but upon receiving the signal, they decided to capture Tan Fong first. Seeing the two running, Lam Tam pondered. If he followed them, he would become a wanted man. But if he stayed, he would become a hostage. Lam Tam decided to choose the latter. Survival above all. Not surprisingly, Tu Vien secretly thought that Lam Tam was indeed a wanted man. Because Tan Fong had broken Thien Zan Tu's equipment, he couldn't win the favor of the goddess. Receiving 500 villain points, Tan Fong felt like he had unlocked a new posture. Lam Tam caught up and asked a question. He didn't understand why Tan Fong, with his strength and reputation, had to run away. Tan Fong revealed that he wanted to rely on family ties to resist others. You can't call yourself a true man. You want to earn your own land. Hearing such deceitful words, the system couldn't help but mock Tan. Well done, Lam Tam. He began to look at Tan Fong with disdain. You don't need to be here. Why don't you go back to Lam Tam? Lam Tam said he wanted to train first before returning. Tu Vien felt uncomfortable and said she would also go out to train. Tan Fong, a bookworm for 10 years, immediately understood the deceitful words of the main character. They often say they are going to train. In reality, it's all to get a treasure. You never return empty-handed. And the girl who was most likely saved by the main character was probably a stubborn young lady who left home. She also has many attributes of a waste person who cannot control her own life. But it's also because the main character didn't abandon the waste. After this stage, only then can you enjoy a meal. And then Tu Vien decided to invest in him. That night, the three found a cave to spend the night and also caught 3 wild chickens. After roasting dinner, Tan Fong took one and gave it to Tu Vien. Tu Vien accepted the roasted chicken and expressed her gratitude. Now I'll eat your chicken, and later you can eat mine. Then Tan Fong said that the first half of the night was his task, the second half belonged to O3. Then he took a chicken and walked out of the cave. Since he had not yet used the opportunity to draw lots for the precious hammer of Tan Hao, Tan decided to start drawing lots. This time, when the turntable spun, he drew the remote theft level. Tan Fong could see every stone in the mountain clearly from above. With his arms open wide, he could take out all the stones in the mountain. Tan Fong thought of the ability to see through, often seen in novels, that is the great treasure dreamed of by every man. In just a moment, Tan Fong had an intention. He looked at the two people resting, then made a strange sound. Tan Fong raised his hand and used remote theft, targeting Tu Vien. In a blink of an eye, Tan Fong had taken Tu Vin's bag. There was still a faint smell and a bit of warmth. Tu Vin was just about to rest, but now she was very alert. Because she noticed something strange, her stomach had already been stolen, yet it was still on her body a moment ago. In the cave, there were only 3 people, and Tan Fong was working. And he was just an 8-year-old child who knew nothing, so this could only be Lam Tam's doing. Thinking of this, Tu Vin slapped Lam Tam and shouted, "Give it back to me now." Lam Tam looked bewildered. At this moment, Tan Fong approached Tu Vin and asked, "What's going on, Sister Tu Vin?" "Lam picked up something of yours. You should ask him." Being wrongly accused by Thien Zan Tu, causing the goddess to hate him, Tan Fong received an additional 500 villain points. "I just want to say that Tan Lao Luke deserves praise." Unable to speak, Tu Vin blushed and ran out of the cave. Lam Tam, looking bewildered, was suddenly slapped by the goddess. Suddenly, from outside the cave, Tu Vin's voice echoed. Lam Tam didn't hesitate and ran out. Tan Fong was left stunned. Just been rejected by the goddess for saving a beauty to increase affection. Not in vain is the chosen son of the heavens, but saving the beauty must be done by him. Tan Fong decided to follow suit. In just a blink of an eye, Tan Fong surpassed 03. Then, like a shooting star, he rushed out. "Miss Tu Vin, don't be afraid, let me save you." Suddenly Tu Vin was attacked by a fierce tiger. Tan Fong rushed to embrace Tu Vin. The confidence mixed with heroism, and Tu Vin's heart beats faster. Next, Tan Fong jumped onto a tree. By now, the elegant 8-year-old boy had deeply imprinted on Tu Vin's mind. Tan Fong asked the girl if she was okay. Tu Vin blushed, remembering the timely action of the boy. Suddenly the tiger hit the tree. Tu Vin almost fell due to loss of balance. Tan Fong hurriedly supported the girl's back, but unexpectedly, the boy stiffened due to excessive worry. His hand placed in the wrong position. However, the situation was urgent. Tu Vin did not realize his improper actions. Tan Fong lightly breathed a sigh of relief and withdrew his hand. At this moment, Lam Tam, the old man, arrived. This extraordinary beast is supernatural and unique. Only by joining forces can it be defeated. But what Tan Fong thought of was, if he shows off, the chosen son will transfer all his affection to him. Thinking of this, he emitted an inappropriate sound. For his young age, only a small cat still needed Tu Vin's hand to stabilize his thoughts. "Let's go meet this cat," then confidently set foot on the ground. Unfortunately, he was interrupted by Lam Tam with a little haste. An Nguyen trusted others. Only by joining forces could they defeat him. Too troublesome. Tan Fong lazily ignored. After stepping on the ground, he drew his sword and pierced the sky. A bright flash dazzling the tiger roared fiercely but caused no fatal wounds. It rushed to attack Tan Fong. Gentleman, Tan Fong paid attention. Tu Vin worried. Lam Tam also rushed down. An Nguyen, don't panic, I am here. Indeed. Bothersome to snatch people. Tan Fong began to demonstrate the martial arts theme long. This is Tan Fong's inner nature. One of the financial illusions toward the tiger then fiercely released a violent delusion, air lingering evenly at the twisted point of contact between the tiger and the ground, thoroughly losing vital signs. 03 Unbelievably, this is too unscientific and destroying the equipment of the chosen son, causing him to fail to gain the affection of the goddess. Tan Fong received 500 negative points when using the final move, also very large. At this point, many dark figures entered the forest. The Ice Tiger Gang approached. The words about the disabled brothers are certainly from An Nguyen. If we can't resolve today, it will be difficult to calm my brother's anger. This is my oldest brother. 03 If you are truly brave, overcome my eldest brother's challenge first. My eldest brother rested a bit. These sneaky guys for you. Due to the calculation of the chosen son, he received 2,000 negative points. 03 Silent. Who am I? Where am I? The elder brother himself dug up the spirit bone and placed the supreme bone of his younger brother. Can he integrate the supreme bone? Just now Tan Fong handed the enemy to Lam Tam. He himself led the goddess to escape. The leader of Ice Tiger Gang to chase. Tan Fong himself stayed to deal with Lam Tam. Lam Tam was a bit tense. Finally, as the opponent is a strong person of level 053, not allowing Lam Tam to think, the leader immediately attacked. Shortly after, from another side, Tan Fong had resolved all the pursuers. Tu Vin worried they would go like this. What should be done? Don't worry, that guy is the chosen one wearing the bright robe. He can't get into trouble. Suddenly a shooting incident happened. Tu Vin couldn't react in time. His back was stabbed by a heavy sword. This strike made him lose consciousness. He fell to the ground. Tan Fong looked fiercely behind, seeing only one enemy left, gasping for air. Tan Fong angrily punched. The opponent lost all teeth and flew up a tree, not knowing life or death. The beauty. Are you okay? Tan Fong urgently hugged Tu Vin, but due to the recent equipment leading to the current situation, his physical strength could not recover. Unable to hold on, this is a system reminder. Can use 1,000 villains to exchange for a daily insurance. but can only recover a bit. To fully recover, continuously repenting. A moment later, Tanfong recovered while listening to the system's suggestion to treat Tu Win. Not long after, the wound on his back began to heal. Tanfong turned back, a bit frightened. This is a big gift, initially treating the front but the back healed. After the treatment, Tanfong decided to go back to check if Lam Tam escaped, but he was shocked to see that scene. Cannot deny that the Chosen One fights in Moon City so easily. Suddenly the sound of horses approaching. Tanfong sensed and decided to flee upon hearing that Lam Tam had become the gang leader at the relic. We must quickly chase after. Can't let him seize the opportunity to know the most precious secret. Then he jumped down, wanting to die. Dare to block the Ui Ho gang. Suddenly someone recognized that this was Tanfong. Indeed, it is the relic that I just mentioned. Where is it? Quickly tell me. Never seen anyone so arrogant. Ui Ho gang attacked directly, but Tanfong's speed was incredibly fast. In the blink of an eye, a cold light appeared. The Waihu group couldn't react and all were defeated. Give you the chance to live, know how to cherish it. Remember more in the next life. Hang Fong picked up the fallen scroll. From above, Lin Sun knows about Ko Tuyat Mountain's relic, although it's unknown what he wants to do. Tanfong decided to go check. Waiting for Tanfong to return, he found Tu Win still unconscious during this time. Try to see if you can reconcile with the supreme power, because as brothers with different parents, should NT be too opposed. Tanfong took out a short knife from his waist, then without hesitation stabbed into his chest, enduring intense pain. Tanfong put his hand behind. The bone in his body was twisted out, then endured intense pain, putting the supreme power immediately when the supreme power was placed on him, and Tanfong's body completely integrated perfectly, but because of the intense pain. Tanfong, in pain, fell to the ground. Couldn't help but say Tan Lao Luke treats others more ruthlessly than himself. Shortly after, Tu Win woke up. He found Tanfong leaning on him, sleeping, feeling embarrassed. He was ashamed, thinking Tanfong was a young brat pretending to be asleep. Tu Win kicked hard into Tanfong's chest. Seeing Tanfong's whole body was wounded, put his hand on his nose, still breathing, just unconscious. Suddenly, Tu Win found a bit of spiritual energy in his hand. This doesn't belong to him, it's from the Moon God's palace. Tu Win remembered being injured by the Ui Ho gang, currently not only recovered from the injury but also a bit of spiritual energy. Realizing that Tanfong saved him, suddenly the spiritual energy in Tanfong's body began to surge, must immediately suppress. Duck 2Khin and I have a bond that I cannot be ungrateful for. After thinking for a moment, Tu Win takes off his purple robe and embraces Duck 2Khin, helping him suppress the rebellious spiritual power within him. And an hour passes just like that. Duck 2Khin wakes up, and the Supreme Spirit merges perfectly with his body, making his strength even more powerful. Unexpectedly, Tu Win points to the eyes of Duck 2Khin. Your eyes only see the world, as Duck 2Khin opens them indifferently when a butterfly flies by. Duck 2Khin can clearly see his own traces, easily grasping them accurately. Seeing this, Tu Win is once again amazed. Duck 2Khin, your hand is so fast. How could anyone not catch it when it moves slowly? Actually, it's not the butterfly that's slow. It's the Supreme Spirit that has enhanced his entire body, including the ability to regenerate. Then, Duck 2Khin points to his own face and says to Tu Win, hit me, miss. Tu Win is immediately confused, never having received such a strange request before. Miss Tu Win, hurry up. Quick, hit me. Tin Trang is slightly emotional. Duck 2Khin has done something wrong, although not knowing the reason. Tu Win decides to comply with his request. Tu Win waves her hand gracefully, but as slowly as a butterfly. On Duck 2Kin's eyes, Tu Win's speed is very slow. Through the experiment, Duck 2Khin determines that his reaction is faster. Suddenly, he stares intently at Tu Win's small delicate hand. Is Duck 2Khin not feeling well? Tu Win feels uncomfortable under his intense gaze. No, nothing's wrong. The delicate, soft hand of Miss Tu Win makes one reluctant to let go. Duck 2Khin then decides to take Tu Win to search for treasure in the mysterious area. Moments later, Tanfong leaned against the map and arrived at a place where he saw a vast area like a mysterious world. The alarm system triggered the villain's mission and took away the opportunity for the descendants of Tianchu. The reward was a golden box. Tanfong finally understood why Lin San did not come back. It turns out he is looking for treasure as Mr. Lam really inside. Tu Win looked into the black hole in front of him, the black hole seemed to swallow everything. The people of Oahu sincerely said that there may be no deception. Hurry through the black hole, then the secret will appear in front of you. Only see the words mountain world here, and there is a spiritual stream. Tan Fong is happy. It turns out to be a mountain stream. Tu Win looks around. We didn't come to find Mr. Lamb, did we? Where is this? Now is not the time to find him. In the ancestral book of the Tan family, it is noted that in the relic of the snow-dry mountain there is a spiritual stream called mountain world here. You can increase your cultivation speed if men and women cultivate together. Even slow down the flow of time. Lang Tri can withstand a year. Before Tan Fong was slightly injured, he decided to stay here to recuperate behind the guarantee range. Encountered enemies even more firmly grasped the responsibility of not being able to find his father and mother for 8 years, always looking for fun. Fortunately, Tan Fong has been enthusiastic about studying and reading many books since he was a child. Otherwise, it would be a waste for this beautiful place. Young Master Tan feels when will be the time. Suddenly Tu Nyat turned around, then time seemed to have passed. A huge process. Tu Win shyly closed his eyes, but he didn't understand why he wanted to peek when Tu Win shouted. Tan Fong quickly rushed to hug Tu Win, then carried him on his body to Lam Tri, then pulled Tu Win down into the water. Tan Fong only let go of Tu Win. Chaos in the middle. Tu Win kicked down. Tan Fong looked at Tu Win, trembling all over. What do you want to do? Who told you to hug so tightly? Leading to the people of Ui Ho Gang. Tu Win woke up. It turns out he did so to protect himself. Where are you injured? I'll apply medicine for you. It's not convenient if you feel awkward. Then take off your clothes and soak in this snack for a while. Tu Win's small face became even redder. Tan Fong made a rude request to himself. This is not enough. You want to soak together. Tan Fong explained that the time here flows slowly. Wearing clothes is not good for absorbing spiritual energy. Tu Win breathed a sigh of relief. The other person is still an 8-year-old innocent teenager, affirming not understanding those things. Then he laughed and responded to Tan Fong's request because of deceiving the young lady. Tan Fong achieved 500 villain characters. Only Tan Fong denied it was not deceitful, but looking back at Tu Win purely, he still admitted. Tu Win, the young lady, prepared yet, so let's start practicing temporarily. And the two of them kept arguing for 3 days. 3 days later, Tan Fong opened his eyes. At the same time, a powerful energy and a strange scene erupted in his body. Tan Fong broke through to the superhuman level again because of the assistance of the heavenly selection. Kai Nu God breakthrough superhuman scene. Moreover, completely cut off the fate of heavenly selection Kai Tu and achieved suddenly 10,000 villain characters outside. Lam Tuyen experienced a tremor. Everyone came to guard according to the tremor in front of them. Violence erupted fiercely, wanting to bring fog to disperse. Two people who sat down to practice appeared in front of everyone. The most glamorous moment was a bit quiet anyway. This is very difficult not to make people think Tu Win is still a daughter. He urgently began to explain and so on. This teenager is really Tan Fong has done, so let's catch these two people back. Tu Win doesn't understand why he has to respond to Tan Fong. Tan Fong may be handsome. Tu Win doesn't know what to say. Mr. Tan has been surrounded by us. It's better to surrender and be tied up to avoid being injured by the two. Tan Fong laughed, broke through and brought experience. These people are truly extremely kind. They didn't say much, just drew their swords and attacked immediately. Previously, Tan Fong always used sword techniques to deal with enemies, but today he will try with 9 swords. As Tan Fong wielded the 9 swords, they began to materialize. Each sword strike would cut down an enemy. The battle was horrifying. The female warriors were simply monsters. Run away. Some started to panic and flee. Of course, swords have no eyes in this battle. Tan Fong had cut down a total of 230 people and earned 23,000 points for defeating the villains. Let's go. Tu Vien felt contemplative. Tan Kong too had become stronger. He lamented being deceived by the elder Lao Luke. Then Tan Fong took out a map. He decided to go to a place with a Bodhi tree, where there is a great opportunity. At the same time, under the Bodhi tree, there was a woman, a rabbit spirit. She was now pushed to desperation, with no way out. In front of them was the V Ho Bang leader. From their words, it was known that the rabbit spirit had just given birth and was extremely weak at the moment. Their conversation, both Tan Fong and Tu Vien heard it. Those people dared to attack a mother who had just given birth, truly reprehensible. Tu Vien said, while holding the rabbit's neck, and Tan Fong also did not back down. I'll hold its leg, you hold its arm, let's cooperate, Tu Vien directly responded, you rotten little brother. At this moment, the sound of a sharp knife echoed. They saw all the V Ho Bang people stab the rabbit's waist. The rabbit was already weak and now seemed even more feeble in the wind. That's enough, everyone stop. Tu Vien couldn't bear it and stepped out. Vi Ho Bang has treated a mother like this. Her actions, leader, are a bit surprising. It turns out that Tan Kong Tu of the Tan clan has captured a rabbit spirit. It's a random delight, but there are more rewards in store. Last time, it was Tien Tu Lin 3 who saved you from the trap. Now let's see how you escape this time, the leader said before rushing towards Tan Fong. Tan Fong, for a moment, remained silent, seemingly underestimated. After surpassing Tan Fong's increased combat power, his speed also increased. He easily dodged the leader's attacks. Then he turned back to mock. Know your place, performing dog. The leader angrily rushed towards him. Tan Fong told Tu Vien to save the rabbit he would deal with the leader. The leader rushes in without being complacent. Directly deploying the legendary skill, Mighty Tiger Descending Mountain. Tan Fong lightly laughed. It seems the leader has some ability, but not much. Tan Fong aggressively provokes a golden dragon to appear. That is the great dragon god. You are just a performing dog. I am much bigger than you. The angry leader felt Tan Fong was like a 30-year-old ox. The leader did not say much but directly unleashed the strongest move, Mighty Tiger Descending Mountain. Tan Fong immediately responded. With a swift swing, he struck the great dragon in the blink of an eye. The dragon rushed towards the leader. The leader's attack against the dragon was almost insignificant, while the remaining power of the dragon rushed towards all the members of Vi Ho Bang, causing devastating destruction. After a while, all 80 members of the Vi Ho Bang were completely eliminated. Tan Tong gained 8,000 points for defeating the villains. Initially, I didn't want to get involved, but they kept coming closer. Initially, there were only a few, but now, it's regrettable that they all got eliminated. Tu Vien helped the rabbit and walked over. The rabbit thanked Tan Fong sincerely. Thank you for saving my life. I am trying to find a Bodhi tree for the newborn to enhance its soul. But due to just giving birth, it's too weak, and so it was captured by the Vi Ho Bang. The rabbit said there's no need for too many Bodhi fruits. Just 10, because of the great maternal love. I can give you 10 in a humane spirit. But I think as a mother, you certainly wouldn't want your children to be lazy in the future, right? Then I will help you with a Bodhi tree. Just give me 10,000 high-quality snacks. The rabbit spirit, on one hand, worried that he was very poor and had no snacks on him. Tan Fong also didn't mind. He took out a small notebook and said that he had no money. We can discuss resources, but what is the resource for the rabbit spirit? Not only are there no snacks, but also no resources. Tan Fong had encountered poor people, but never one as impoverished as this. He then waved his hand. All right, take it. The rabbit spirit was overjoyed when the benefactor prepared for him. Of course, he didn't like giving gifts. But do you have money? If you don't have money, don't ask such foolish questions. Learn. This Bodhi tree has grown, but the rabbit spirit is so poor that he doesn't have any valuable items on him except for a few baby rabbits he just gave birth to. Tan Fong gave the rabbit spirit 10 Bodhi trees, and the rabbit spirit shared them with 3 baby rabbits. Seeing the little rabbit eating well, Tu Vien was very delighted, continuously petting the little rabbit's head. Suddenly, the rabbit spirit gave the small rabbit to Tu Vien. If you like it, raise one. After saying this, the rabbit spirit took the other 2 rabbits and left. Tu Vien took the last rabbit, suddenly a little puzzled. At this moment, Tan Fong focused on the small rabbit. At the same time, the system detected that the rabbit was a grade Sutan spirit. Suitable for Tan Hao's role, but to raise this spirit, a genius of the Earth Guardian level was needed. 1 Bodhi tree was enough to sustain it for a day. Tan Fong finally understood that this was just a lunchbox. No surprise that a newborn spirit had to search for food. How can a normal family afford it? Seeing Tan Fong silent, Tu Vien frowned. Little brother, I don't know what else to say. If you like, we'll raise it even if you don't like it. Tan Fong also decided to raise it. In the end, this is a grade Sutan spirit. At this moment, Tan Fong once again left a good impression on Tu Vien. Now Tan Fong is like a kind boy. Tu Vien suggested naming him. Tan Fong felt he loved to eat, so he called him Lunchbox. Tu Vien thought this name was too bad and wanted to call the little rabbit though. Tan Fong still thought Lunchbox was better. Well, let's call him a Bao, the Lunchbox. What about the little rabbit? Tu Vien tried to think of a suitable name for him. Alright, let's call him Dai Min Bao, Lunchbox, Tiny Min, Tiny Bok. Tu Vien was slightly annoyed. What a terrible little brother, not allowing me to be lenient with him. Suddenly, from a distance, a lightning bolt began to appear as a sign. Lam Tam had found Lam Tam. He seemed to have discovered something. The Lin family unexpectedly wanted to steal alone. Seemingly they would have to teach them a lesson. Tan Fong realized. These are all members of the Tan clan. Lam Tam is at the front of the battle or about to begin. Tan Fong decides to take Tu Vien with him secretly. After a moment, a cave, the leader of the Taemon clan shouted at Lam Tam, "Leave here." Lam Tam unexpectedly extended an invitation, completely devoid of arrogance and authority. Tan Fong couldn't believe the chosen one of heaven would speak so easily. Based on his 10 years of experience, the chosen one of heaven would not accept being snatched away by others. Relying on his experience, he understood that the chosen one of heaven wouldn't accept having their prey stolen. The clan leader starts wearing a border coat. When he took it off, the border made a groaning sound, but there was no sign of breaking. Seeing the situation, all the companions were coming to help. All wore the border coat. For a moment, the leader began putting on the border coat, and when he took it off, the border emitted a groaning sound, but there was no sign of damage. The companions saw the situation and all came to help, all wearing the border coat. In a moment, the recovery in the area emitted a bright light, and the group leader noticed something was wrong. The boundary was actually absorbing their martial arts, and now they couldn't retreat. When a strong wind blew, everyone was blown away except for the two watching from a distance, who were astonished. Tan Fong knew this was unstable. Kind-hearted Lam Tam continued to break the boundaries. Meanwhile, all the members of the Tan clan were wounded, and due to the warning beforehand, this area was about to collapse. The group leader quickly ordered the clan members to retreat to preserve their lives. But Lam Tam continued to break the boundary. Finally, the last boundary was broken, and the Manhwa River was revealed. This was a good opportunity, and Tan Fong was secretly delighted. He quickly raised his hand and drew the Manhwa River towards him. Thanks to the opportunity to save the child of Thien Men, Tan Fong received the golden treasure chest, a chance to draw on 1 million value of the great villains. Tan's father may be late, but never absent. As the barrier in the treasure chest was broken, all the relics fell into chaos. Seeing the recovery, the clan leader of the Taemon clan was angry. He ordered the elimination of O3 and the confiscation of the recovery. But O3 just sneered and smiled. He had prepared long ago. This was a space transmission device. People can be teleported immediately. The decision to use the teleportation device immediately. A moment later, a light blue circle appeared at the foot of Lang's son before leaving. He didn't forget to wave teasingly before leaving, swiping the leader's drum. The space step doesn't go far. Quickly chase after me. And they followed the direction of the two spectators watching the comedy. Tan Fong saw someone approaching quickly and quickly hid the stolen item in his pocket. At the same time, the leader turned and looked in his direction. Tan Fong immediately pretended to be scared, hugging Tu Win and shouting loudly, "Sister, I am scared here. I want to go home to find Mom." Where did this coward come from? Tu Win was a bit confused. How could her younger brother's soul be so small? After the Taemon family went far away, Tan Fong finally removed his false face. "Let's go, we should nt stay here for long," he said. Tu Win was surprised. "I just wanted to say you're too naive, Tu Win." The two left. The increasingly intense fluctuations meant that holding onto Tu Win and accelerating like this would make it more convenient to move forward. At the same time, Tan Fong felt the need to become stronger, so he immediately opened the treasure chest from the reward. Tan Fong gave advice through the treasure chest. Little brother seems to have sensed the advice of Kai Man. We may be facing danger soon. Suddenly, a piece of debris fell from the side. Tan Fong immediately gave advice, only to see his eyes shining. In the blink of an eye, he destroyed the huge flying rock. At the same time, 3 people were ready to restore and ready to open it. The result, when opened, was empty. He was immediately suspicious of the way it was opened. Afterwards, no matter how you looked, you only saw an empty box. But he couldn't have imagined that everything had fallen into Tan Fong's hands. Tu Win was amazed that Tan Fong understood the advice, but Tan Fong felt that having a hand was enough. The reason he was called the Supreme Swordmaster after a century was because he understood the advice at the age of 12. Breaking ancient records. Those things that people can see are still able to break ancient records. Apparently, only by breaking this ancient record. It seems that the amount of gold in this ancient record is not even close. It's not for nothing that it's called the Great Heavenly Proclamation, a powerful statement. It decides to change the card, rank level of Great Completion, 100 cards. After that, his advanced Grand Mastery skill had reached its peak. Now, Tu Win was still a bit surprised to see Tan Fong continuously flashing. Because only Tan Fong could see the system. After his advanced grand mastery, Tan Fong decided to use the opportunity to draw and drew the invincible heart. His final form was with no woman in his heart, naturally drawing his sword, increasing his spiritual damage tenfold, and the range of his sword skill. In just a moment, Tan Fong felt like his disciple had become more beautiful, but upon closer inspection, nothing had changed. Tan Fong was a bit curious. What secret technique are you practicing? Little brother Tan Fong remembered he was practicing a skill that could make men stronger. Men are constantly afraid, opening two skills related to swordsmanship. Tan Fong was now looking for an event while a scroll fell out of his pocket. What is this? Tu Veen was attracted to the scroll, but this item was not simple. It was the Holy Book of the Saint, rumored to be a relic of the saint from ancient times, including 3 books. Those who have affinity will sympathize with the great Tao. Those without affinity will not see a single word. Each display of the saint causes a bloodstorm. Those who can sympathize from this book are famous and powerful figures in history. Tan Fong looked at the book and believed his talent was not bad. And the radiance was even deeper. But he didn't see anything. Tu Veen explained that not only did he need high intelligence, but also affinity. It can't be used as trash for yourself. Tan Fong threw the book away directly, and suddenly, Tu Bok excitedly jumped on the book. Using the Book of the Saint as a cool pillow, this little boy would no longer be just anyone. Suddenly, Tu Veen discovered a blind spot. How did you get this? Lam Tam lied. Do you think we will believe you? Suddenly, a voice from behind interrupted the two. Tan Fong took advantage of this opportunity to change the subject and quickly ran back. How many times do I have to tell you before you believe that the treatment is empty? Lam Tam tried to explain, but his explanation was clearly vague. Heroes don't need to say much to them. Show them some color, don't be too old. Tan Fong decided to do something. He swung his sword directly at the great wolf of the Taemon family. The great wolf's face showed no fear, even daring to challenge my spirit sword. Really seeking death. Although the opponent had more people, Tan Fong was not worried at all. On the contrary, he was a bit excited. He decided to use these people for the event. When Tan Fong focused his spiritual power, a powerful force spread out. It was truly a powerful force. He was just an 8-year-old child, but compared to the genius time, he understood the power of spirit 4 years earlier. Just a few days without seeing you, Tan Fong, you're stronger again. Tu Veen criticized his younger brother for showing off. The great wolf was not panicked because the opponent was lower in rank. Unexpectedly, not only did he have strength, but he also had the invincible heart. Could he really be just a child? Like a monster hiding for many years, seeing his older brother in such a panic, Nyi Lang couldn't hold back any longer. You are the traitor of the Tan family, living by digging up the graves of the highest disciples. Are you thinking of suicide without success? Nyi Lang was very confident, but the great wolf was panicking. Seeing you still a little child, I will reveal to you that Tan Fong said, waving his hand. This statement made Nyi Lang immediately angry, and unexpectedly, the great wolf hugged Nyi Lang. Fleeing in the middle of a battle is not a sign of a real hero. I am disappointed in you. Other members of the Taemon family didn't want to run away. Tan Fong was happy and no longer needed to pursue. Relying on his own strength, he looked down on anyone today. The Taemon family will teach him how to live. Tan Fong showed his seriousness. He began to release his extremely powerful soul force, the skill of cutting the heavens and the earth. This blow was extremely powerful. The air seemed to distort, and under this blow, no one survived. The girl held the broken gem in her hand. Summoned a giant turtle towering hundreds of meters high, on top of which stood a beautiful and cold woman. At that moment, Tan Fong had defeated Bang Vu Ho and the Taemon clan. This incident quickly spread and reached the Tan clan. Tan Fong speculated that Tan Fong had used the power of the supreme weapon because it was an external object. He worried that his son would be affected, but the old man did not think so. Tan Fong was confident inside, with his own pride. The son, Dai Kong II of the Bitch family, not only defeated Bang Vu Ho but also wiped out the Taemon clan. The lively woman directly grabbed the teacup when she heard that Tan Fong also understood the advice of Kai Trong and Tam Tam Vo Dick. The old man smiled joyfully. Meanwhile, Ha Hoang also learned of this incident. But he showed no reaction because a young man had left the clan's protection and was no longer a threat. Surprisingly, Ha Hoang's cold face killed a talent of Tan Tung, making Lam Tam doubt his life. Why did the confident attack of a chosen person make him doubt? Tan Tong received 100,000 negative points. I am leaving. I already have 100,000. Lam asked if his talented swordsmanship could teach him the basics of swordsmanship. Lam Tam was angry. This was not an insult to himself, right, Sister Tuyen? He is fierce to me. But no one really knows those basics. I only know how to wield a sword. Lam Tam couldn't stand it. Tan Fong received another 100,000 negative points. Tu Veen now fully supports Tan Fong. Lam Tam, what are you angry about? You're just a child. In a moment, Lam Tam's confidence was completely shattered. He even felt like a waste, not knowing that it was all Tan Lao Luke's conspiracy. Seeing Lam Tam wanting to leave, Tan Fong quickly shouted, Lam, don't be discouraged. You are the first swordsman in 100 years. I believe you will do it. You see, my running away was just because of a very small strike that made me understand. Every time Tan Fong spoke, he received another 100,000 negative points. Lam Tam couldn't stand it and quickly left. If not, he would go completely crazy. Lam, don't leave, I still have a lot to say to you. This is really a good opportunity to convert negative points. Tan Fong didn't want that. Don't come near me. Lam Tam just wanted to escape. Suddenly, the three looked up at the sky, only to see a giant cloud with thousands of figures standing on it. The Prince of Hoang's Tai Bin, known as the King's Head, took Tan Fong's phone. Just opening his mouth, a light pressure made the three unable to move. Lam Tam explained that this was the great disciple of Tai Bin, a powerful and terrifying force, and opposite were thousands of cavalry. Lam Tam dropped a few drops of cold sweat. Tan Fong saw the situation starting to think and decided to take a risk, turning his bike into a motorcycle. Tan Fong automatically moved forward, then innocently opened his mouth. Who do you want to meet? I am the Emperor's decree to take your life. Do you want to kill me? Can you not kill me? Lam Tam and Sister Tuyen. Please. Tan Fong's words slightly angered both of them. High up, a giant cloud with thousands of figures standing on it. It is the Tai Bin leader of the Ha Hoang, known as the Vua's head archer, going to get Tan Fong's phone. Just by opening his mouth, a slight pressure made three people unable to move. Lam Tam explained that this was the great disciple of Tai Bin, a powerful and frightening force, and there were thousands of cavalry opposite. Lam Tam sweated a few drops of cold sweat. Tan Fong saw the situation starting to think. He decided to take a risk and turn his bike into a motorcycle. Tan Fong automatically advances forward, then innocently opens his mouth. Who do you want to see? I am here at the Emperor's behest to take your life. Do you want to kill me? Can you not kill me? Lam Tam and Sister Tu Veen. Alright. Tan Fong's words made both a bit annoyed. They didn't expect Tan Fong to be so bold. Sister Tu Veen, don't be afraid, I will protect you. This person says to only kill me you will be safe. Tan Fong shows sincere affection, committing to do anything for Tu Veen, even if it means death. Even if I have to die. Then he opens his arms, come at me. Finally, he shows determination to the end. Tran Khon is also uncompromising, raising his sword, ready to attack. You cannot die, little brother. I won't allow you to die. Suddenly, Tu Veen crushes a gem. A golden thunderbolt falls from the sky, hitting in front of the three. I admit I gambled, didn't expect to hit. It seems I'll be hitching a ride now. Along with the thunderbolt, a giant tortoise emerges from the transmission gate, and above the tortoise, standing there was a magnificent and elegant artist. What connection did this person have with Tu Win? Tan Fong, being a member of a large family, naturally knew right away. This is one of the top 5 masters of the music court, Wei Tan, he said before asking Tu Win, are you the goddess of the music court? Upon receiving confirmation, Tan Fong eagerly jumped up. Indeed, found the big words. Wei Tan then smiled and said, oh, it's quite lively here as well. Her smile was like a blooming flower welcoming the spring, adorable and lovely. The chief guard, Khon, was a bit tense in front of Wei Tan. This is our great lower territory. It's not your turn yet, he said. As a female general like me, I am just a weak woman. Threatening me is inappropriate. As Khon was about to say more, a purple light suddenly struck him, causing him to collapse. This light naturally came from Wei Tan's hand, and after this strike, Khon fell to the ground unconscious. Next life, be polite to weak women, General, Wei Tan said. Thank you, Ashao, for speaking. Wei Tan then withdrew the light and blew a teasing kiss, causing chaos among the palace guards. In the commotion, Tu Win grabbed Tan Fong's hand, preparing to escape. Wei Tan draws a light beam, then sends a flying kiss. Chiding words immediately flooded the household. As the territory's head of the royal palace, how could they not withstand a hit from Wei Tan in the chaos? Tu Wen grabs Tan Fong's hand, preparing to escape. Surprisingly, Wei Tan raised her jade hand with just a gesture, restricting the two from moving. Where do you want to go? Tu Wen, Wei Tan asked softly. Tu Wen was sweating profusely. Feeling a hint of anger, Tu Wen knew she had to remain firm, so she began pretending to be crazy. I need Brother Ahan to treat me the best. It's just a simple comparison, she said. Unable to hold back her resentment and not knowing how to answer, Tan Fong felt somewhat helpless. What does this have to do with me? Wei Tan spoke before waving her jade hand once again. The two were then lowered onto the back of a giant turtle as Wei Tan's interrogation began. Tan Fong began to consider changing his strategic direction. Do you know I am your brother? Quietly leaving home is fine if you don't want to be found. But running to such a big royal court like this? Tu Wen held her head, shouting, Big sister, I was wrong, please don't hit me anymore. He then spoke of the result of that trip, which was meeting the exceptional talent, Thien Tong Tuya Tai. It seems I am Tan's younger brother in the family of those who took away my brother's supreme dignity and ordered his pursuit, he said before Wei Tan could speak. Tan Fong stepped forward. You believe in love at first sight, sister Wei Tan? Wei Tan smiled charmingly. You're young but already understand love at first sight. I thought you just liked the appearance, right? Yes. I've decided that when I grow up, I will marry you, he said. Tu Wen couldn't bear it. Big brother, I am worried about you. Tan Fong exuded extreme confidence, creating a stark contrast with his young appearance. Surprisingly, Wei Tan gently touched Tan Fong's nose. You are indeed a sincere young man, which makes me somewhat fond of you. But at this moment, Tu Wen was too annoyed. He was so angry that his face was full of rage, and from a distance, a loud noise echoed. It was the people of the Vong family who received news of Tan Fong being hunted by Cone. Just in time, Mr. Tun directly transmitted a message to discuss the coordination of the theater. Tan Fong was somewhat dissatisfied, coming late and showing up rich on the board. Then he directly rejected the play and hugged Wei Tan. Sister Wei Tan, Tan's family has come to kill me. I am so scared, he said. Mr. Tan became anxious. What does the son's behavior mean? At that moment, Mr. Tu appeared. Wei Tan, please give us the name of Tan's disobedient child. If you don't want to tell, then let's fight. Tan Fong is mine. This humble statement was made, but the parents at the scene all became dumbfounded. Tu Wen quickly blushed, explaining, my intention is that Tan Fong is our Celestial Palace member. The best people are those who return where they came from. Is my intention correct? Celestial Palace felt a bit helpless, not knowing what to say to this naive girl. If Tu Wen refuses, the Celestial Palace fears this will become a nightmare in Tu Wen's soul. And in reality, Tan Fong's talent is not bad. Faced with the Tan family's request, Tan takes Tan Fong away, as the Celestial Palace chooses to decline. The elder coldly made a move, the others couldn't keep me. After speaking, the Celestial Palace controls Kich Kai to enter the transmission gate. Seeing Tan Fong about to be taken out of sight by the Celestial Palace, he decides to intervene but is hit by the elder. The elder believes Tan Fong going to the Celestial Palace is not a bad thing. There, he can calmly cultivate. But Tan's father is worried that this will be exposed. Finally, the Western Doctrine elder understands. He relentlessly attacks the giant tortoise, but the attack only falls on the transmission gate. At the same time, a special energy stream falls from the sky. Then the elder shouts, Tan Fong, you despicable brat, you want to harm us when the dark truly comes. The guards of Daiha also have a bit of confusion. Soon after, the spirit beast approaches, becoming frenzied. To avoid being affected, they hastily run in all directions. Tan Fong finally safely leaves the Grand Ha Royal Court. This place is the Celestial Palace, and he stands stunned at the Music Royal Palace, with the Music Royal Palace and Daiha being opposing royal courts. Wei Tan, the fairy, returns after the three return. They hurriedly ran in all directions, and Tan Fong finally safely left the Great Xia dynasty. Here, at the Moon God Palace, he stood tall. The Moon God Palace and the Great Xia dynasty were opposing forces. The goddess Wei then returned after the three of them came back. All the palace ladies welcomed him, but as soon as he entered, Tan Fong felt like he was entering heaven. This was a feeling he had never experienced in the 8 years at the Tan house. Because he was so excited, Tan Fong accidentally spat out 2 lines of tomato soup. At this point, the moon god said, Tan Fong, will you join my moon god after hearing this? Tan Fong quickly wiped his mouth. That's natural, this moon god is yours. According to the rules of the martial arts world, if you save someone, you must marry the moon god. She smirked. Although Tan Fong was very childish, he did not feel awkward. Now I officially appoint you as the moon god's child. After saying this, the moon god drew a small moon symbol in the air. Tan Fong pointed to the older sister beside him. Can I practice and eat together with them in the future? The moon god said that both the male and female gods would be taught by him. Can I practice and eat together with the moon god? The moon god was a bit surprised. You want to practice with me even if we don't practice together, living together is fine. Tan Fong looked puzzled. Tu Win was so angry that she clenched Tan Fong. Big sister is busy, she doesn't have time. Later, you will follow me to stay in the goddess palace, live with Tu Win. Tan Fong carefully considered leading the great, but it was not impossible. And then, 7 years passed. After entering the goddess palace, Tan Fong tried to cultivate every day. Now, Tan Fong has turned 15 years old, and his youthful face has become more handsome. Every time he went out to practice, Tan Fong attracted the attention of the palace ladies. Finally, in the divine palace, there was only one man, Tan Fong. Auctioning for tickets, it only took 5 minutes to watch. The last man, a program first-timer, got the ticket. Give me 2 tickets for my 2 sisters-in-law. Then 2 women argued over a ticket. It's fine, I still have bitter tea to wake up. Just with 50 cakes. Before the capital said all the tickets and bitter tea had been taken. I really am a thrifty rabbit. Suddenly, a strong wind came and blew everything up into the sky. The capital was used to shouting loudly. Kill the rabbit and then kill the rabbit. Then jump into the water and approach Tan Fong. The strong wind from earlier came from this sword. With just one finger, Tan Fong tightly gripped the sword. The first person he met was Tu Win when he was young. Now he looks as charming as a celestial fairy come down to earth. With Tuan Fong's deepening understanding of advice, even Tan Wei couldn't resist praising him. If I am not strong, how can I marry Sister Tan Wei? I still have some knowledge about that. Tu Win approached and kicked. Over the years, Tuan Fong, rising from the water, always maintained a cool demeanor, which immediately captivated all the palace maidens. Now the palace maidens everywhere are just fans of Tuan Fong. Tu Win angrily called out, you remembered our family since you were young, but you didn't notice a fairy like me next to you. Tuan Fong, lazy to explain directly, splashed water towards Tu Win, creating a perfect scene. Tu Win's face turned red with anger. Tuan Fong didn't forget to seize the opportunity in his words. Tu Win, no longer patient, threatened to punish Tuan Fong by jumping into the stream. At this moment, Tan Wei mentioned the upcoming royal music elimination competition held every 10 years. Do you want to participate? Hearing about the elimination competition, Tuan Fong paused, but Tu Win rushed forward and bumped into him. Tu Win, now a divine messenger, believed that if Tuan Fong wanted to compete for the position of Saint Messenger of the royal music, he would have to humble himself. Even though the Saint Messenger was just a prince. But he could inherit the position of emperor in the future. When Tu Win became the husband of Tan Wei and Tuan Fong became the emperor, conversations in the household would be easier. However, Tu Win still worried, not seeing Tuan Fong as an outsider but as her future husband. After some thought, Tuan Fong made a decision. I will work to earn money, and if I meet the chosen one, it will be wonderful. Suddenly, Tu Win noticed something strange. Feeling a stiff object underwater. Like a rock, stiff. He reached out to explore this mysterious object, but immediately felt cold sweat. He decided to push Tu Win away and shouted that there was a snake underwater. Hearing about the snake, all the palace maidens were startled and screamed. Even Little White jumped out of the water. I am very afraid of snakes, Tuan Fong sighed, not saying anything, but there were too many spectators. Our deities know we made a mistake. After being discovered, all the palace maidens knelt before Tan Wei and apologized. Suddenly, a whip struck. The palace maidens were whipped and cried. Tuan Fong did not stop but continued to punish the lined-up palace maidens. Oh, Tan Wei, don't get too angry, it's not good for your health. I will help you punish them. The palace maidens understood that Tuan Fong was helping them because Tan Wei's punishment was even harsher. Next time, you can't watch me bathe anymore. Everyone, go down. Thank you, Tan Wei. Thank you, Divine Messenger, the palace maidens quickly thanked. Tan Wei thought that Tuan Fong was too kind to them. However, he felt it was just insignificant preferences because he was the most powerful king in this field. But some names suddenly caught Tuan Fong's eyes. Little White was preparing to run away. In the end, a palace maiden came to announce that outside Tan Wei's palace, there was someone who claimed to be the prince of the great Xia dynasty and wanted to challenge Tuan Fong. Tuan Fong remained emotionless, still holding Little White's ear tightly. But at that moment, he discovered a cold wind behind him. Startled, he looked back. Over the years, the person Little White feared the most was Tuan Fong. This kid needed to be severely punished. Tuan Fong grabbed Little White's rabbit ear. Little White screamed, "Sister Tu Win, I really miss you." Finally, Tan Wei reminded, in these days, the great Xia dynasty will send an envoy to watch the battle, and the prince of the lower realm is a thorn in Tuan Fong's side. Be careful, Tan Wei. Oh, I understand, Tan Wei replied. At that moment, Little White felt his life was about to end. It seems that Bak Nyan has discovered the survival when an uninvited guest from outside the Kung Wei came. He is called Cho from the great Xia dynasty, looking for the traitor Tan Fong to fight alone. Since no one came out, Cho directly attacked the main door. The door immediately broke and all the palace ladies of Kung Wei ran out. Cho looked at Tan Fong with disdain. Tan Fong, are you scared already? Want to use many people against few people? After speaking, Tu Win stepped out. Great Xia is really amazing. This goddess will teach you how to be a human. But Tan Fong resisted. He thought that Cho was just a pawn in someone else's hand and the real player is the great Xia dynasty. Over the years, great Xia has defeated some noble families who appeared to be taught directly by the false emperor. But in fact, it is weakening the power of the upper class. Finally, the one who benefits from the ignorance of the old man is the great Xia dynasty. Although this is just Tan Fong's speculation, who knows what is true? When Tan Fong reached the palace ladies, he immediately received luggage. Opposed Tan Fong. He has arrived. Cho took out the inherited knife and pointed it towards Tan Fong, but Tan Fong's speed and agility easily avoided the attack. Previously, the highly skilled person who appeared was just a robot. 054 from Cho. I am the one taught by the false emperor. Who are you to compare? Tan Fong confidently replied, superior to all 9 levels. Cho directly exploded in anger at someone lower in level, but so confident. How do you want to fight, alone or in a group? After being wanted to fight alone by Cho, Tan Fong smiled. Then he looked at the palace ladies. He chose one to fight with everyone. Everyone attacked together. Cho was silent since birth until now. This is the first time I have met such a shameless person. Not much time has passed. Cho was defeated by the palace ladies, but he is still not satisfied. Do you believe it has anything to do with me? Tan Fong doesn't care about his opinion. Now let's calculate. Tan Fong took out a calculator. The door is level 3 broken, along with Wei Tan Kong money lost. Material of all the palace ladies. Total compensation 1,100,000 dong. High quality snacks. He's joking, right? All in all, it's just a snack. All of this is just a light meal, but Tan Fong wants compensation for the remaining 99,000 pigs. He is robbing. I have no light meal for you. No money is also fine. Tan Fong showed a mysterious smile. In the crowded place, Tan Fong rode a donkey and shouted, look. Don't miss out. The southern deity of the big house does not need 998. Does not need 888. Just needs 98. Immediately bring home Tan Fong of the Chu family will not let you go. The prince will not let you go either. You should be worried about yourself first. Next, buy the best goods from the great Xia South. Delivery immediately. No need to wait. Look. See, the direct sales god passing by seems a bit flustered. Even the pig is a genius. At this time, a blonde man walked up and said, what do you think of this girl? Divine child, this golden girl needs to be weighed in tons. Ordinary people should stay away when they meet. Tan Fong, after looking, also felt a bit too much. However, this weight must be paid extra. Both immediately reached an agreement. Let me go quickly. Let me go quickly. Although 100 people don't want to. Tan Fong said, this is my careful choice for you, a plump girl. You should know that plump is the best. The plump girl was extremely angry and was about to scold when Tan Fong threw a pill. The pill dissolved as soon as it entered her mouth. In a flash the girl realized her body was changing strangely. Upon meeting the princess for the first time, the man decided to give her a special gift, which turned out to be his servant. Just as Tan Fong had the servant feed a pig a pill, which was not candy but a special kind of medicine. Seeing a passerby looking tense, Tan Fong immediately explained, what are those expressions for? I wander all over the world, so taking medicine is reasonable. Obviously unreasonable, but the passerby dared not speak up. Tan Fong had the chubby girl touch the pig. Before meeting her future husband, the chubby girl hesitantly touched the pig's skin. In just a moment, the pig became the wife. Haven't seen each other for a day. My love flows endlessly like a river, she said shyly. Let's go where no one is around to talk in detail. Thus, the deal was sealed. Kim Mao bought a young man from Tan Fong for offending someone's dignity, receiving 1,000 evil orders from the royal court of Daiha Namfang. The princess arrived to avoid the talented man. At this moment, a royal horse-drawn carriage appeared. Tan Fong quickly mounted the horse. The princess was the beloved youngest Princess Ha Hoang, the representative of this delegation, and the one behind the curtain was surely Tan Fong. How dare you disgrace the student of the emperor like that? A voice from the carriage questioned. Your authority in the royal court is unquestionable. The princess seemed puzzled. The Moon Palace thinks this is your territory. The princess looked slightly confused. Tan Fong, behead him. Killing someone in another's land makes others your enemies. But Tan Fong didn't care. He quickly shot a silver needle, which split into 4 smaller needles mid-air. The guards quickly drew their knives to defend. But one of the small needles hit. You lose, Tan Fong said softly. The guard also noticed something wrong. The needle is poisonous, Tan Fong explained. How could a gentleman like me be harmful? The guard was relieved to hear that. Tan Fong continued, this is not a needle. The guard, sweating with fear, threw away his sword. Remembering the situation with the pig moments before, he was terrified. The image was too beautiful for him to bear. He went to the princess carriage to seek help. Please save me. At that moment, a young man stepped out of the carriage. This is the pinnacle of the first day of the great friendship exchange. The princess had just sworn an oath of allegiance to the senior brother below, hoping Tan brother could consider the friendship between the two countries and come forward to help solve the 7-year-old poison case. Tan Fong finally waited for Danyat Thien Gao. He was the chosen one and also a poet. Since he had arrived, Tan Fong had no reason not to welcome him. Do you understand? I will help you detoxify. Tan Fong bowed in respect. He then jumped onto the horse's back and approached the guard. The guard was skeptical. Are you really going to detoxify him? Of course, but the method is to shoot the leg. That's how the detoxification works from the root. A loud bang, and the guard cried out in pain, hugging his leg. The passerby behind him also naturally hugged his leg. Having harmed someone, Tan Fong received 1,000 evil orders. An angry woman stepped out of the carriage. She was Princess Ha Fong of the Daiha royal court. Seeing the guard writhing on the ground, Princess Ha Fong pointed at Tan Fong. Don't go too far, Tan Fong. I thought the Daiha princess was a virtuous lady, but it turns out you hide a man in your carriage. Offended, Ha Fong wanted to punish Tan Fong directly. He had never endured this before, but Tan Fong instead grabbed Ha Fong tightly. Suddenly, a sharp sword appeared in front of Tan Fong. Don't touch the princess, unlike your previous elegance. This incident angered Danyat Thien Gao to the extreme. Tan Fong pushed the sword away. Simultaneously, noticing something was off and touching a bit caused such a big reaction, they surely had a problem. If it's really like that, continuously attacking the antagonist from the great celestial master, the is too easy.